All right, we are in Jacksonville today, Duval County, as our tour continues, training camp tour. We're down to 2-a-days now, so we're going to get more from Buffalo later. But first, let's start off in Duval County with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The mayor of Jacksonville is with us alongside former general manager Rick Spielman. Gentlemen, expected to be very hot there today. I understand the sun is out for the first time, so you guys are feeling a little heat. But Pete, I want to start by asking you, last year you guys were at Jacksonville training camp. Obviously, things a little bit different. What is the mood like as they have camp this year in comparison to what you experienced last year?
Well, they're in a new facility, and last year they were at a high school field, so it's much different from that standpoint. But as far as the team, they believe. This is a young group, but they're confident. They know. They went through some things last year. They struggled early on, but then they learned how to win big games. They learned how to win close games. They learned how to win December games, and they learned how to win a playoff game. And when you come back from training camp, that carries over a little bit.
Yeah, and first of all, it's an honor to be next to the mayor of Jacksonville. So,
Vice mayor.
Vice mayor,
there
thanks.
You go.
Although you're standing on your soapbox, as I see.
Well, I'm always on a soapbox.
The biggest difference is the biggest difference, though, to me, is the playmakers on offense. And with Ridley coming aboard and just watching practice today, how much more athletic they look on offense at all the skill positions, how much speed they have. So they've really, I thought Trent Baalke did a great job in the draft this year. The biggest question will be the offensive line on the offensive side of the ball. And can they hold up with two new starting tackles going into week one?
So obviously Calvin Ridley is the talk of training camp for the Jaguars. That offseason acquisition spent all of last year out suspended due to those gambling issues. But Rick, I wanted to ask you, how does that chemistry look between him and his new quarterback?
Well, what we've seen today and what we've seen previously before we got down here, it looks great. And just talking to Trevor Lawrence earlier today and what a difference it's going to make to have Calvin Ridley on the field. And my question was, does he make the difference just like A.J. Brown did with Jalen Hurts, just like Diggs did with Josh Allen? So there's no question about his playmaking ability. And when we saw here today, he's going to be an explosive playmaker for this team.
He's a number one wide receiver. And is he Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill? Probably not. But he's in that next group, and I think he has the ability to change the dynamic of the offense. He'll help open things up on the inside for Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. He'll help get one-on-ones on the outside for Zay Jones. They're going to be tough to stop. And you mentioned, we talked to Trevor Lawrence. He was raving about it and basically is almost like to the point where he's daring people to stop him. I don't think they are going to be stopped on offense, to be honest with you.
Well, and it's interesting for Atlanta, too, because of the fact that they get a 4th-round pick if he makes the team, a 3rd-round pick based on how much time he plays, and if the Jaguars re-sign him, that turns into a 2nd-round pick. So obviously expectations are high, and certainly Atlanta is hoping that he does well out there. All right, well, obviously the big news of the weekend is the fact that running back Jonathan Taylor has asked for a trade out of Indianapolis since we have a general manager here with us. Rick, I wanted to get your perspective on this. Obviously there is animosity building between these two sides because the team is saying non-football injury list. Taylor is saying, I've never had a back issue at all. So as a general manager, I mean, how would you handle this? How would you kind of try to bring things together here?
Are you referring to me as a general manager or Pete?
Well, you know I'm the real general manager. You just masquerade as one.
We were talking about that earlier today, and I don't know what type of market he would have, what they would expect to get in trade compensation from a draft standpoint, who's going to pay him the money that he wants at this point of the year. So I don't think a trade is an option right now. He's going to be stuck in Indianapolis. He's either going to have to play on this year's contract and then probably get franchised next year. But everything going on with the PUP and potentially going on the NFI list, which would almost be impossible to do, that relationship is getting fractured.
Here's the thing. If he had come off of the season before and done the same exact thing, would they be even in this situation? He didn't play the entire season last year. He wasn't the same guy. There was injury issues. He had surgery after the season. And now you look at the running back position, you say, hey, yes, he's our best player right now on offense, but we can move on from him. And I think that's what the Colts are doing. I think the Colts are looking at it. He's a running back. He's replaceable. And, Rick, you mentioned it. If somebody's going to trade for him, they're going to have to give up a marquee pick and then pay him. If he's not happy with his Colts contract, that means he's going to want a new contract from the new team, and teams hate giving out assets and paying. That's usually a curse.
So then, Pete, what would you do in this situation? I mean, we all know how you feel about the running back position, that these are replaceable players. Play them, then trade them. So would you be someone that would say, okay, Taylor, you're done here. Let's get you out of here and get what we can. Because, I mean, the Colts are not winning the division. They're not going to win the conference. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, do you trade this asset while you can, get as much as you can for him, and then look towards next season?
I wouldn't.
No.
No, he's under contract. He's going to play for me. He doesn't play for anybody.
And he's their best player on offense.
and
So
if
how
he-
can you get rid of that?
And if he comes back and plays well, you know what they could do? They could always tag him. I mean, they do have that ability.
And if Anthony Richardson's their starting quarterback, he's going to be his best friend.
Right.
Okay, well, we said it coming into the segment. Tommy alluded to it, that we have the mayor of Jacksonville here with us in Pete Prisco. Pete, we know you made your bones in Jacksonville, a popular figure there. It's actually nice to see you not wearing the teal shirt this year when you're at Jaguars camp. So nice to see you in the CBS blue. But Pete, I wanted to get your realistic expectations here for this Jaguars team, because obviously they are very high. But to take off the rose-colored glasses, they're expected 10 wins is what they're looking at for a total. They're favorites to win the division. How far can this team go this year?
I was on one of their local radio stations here today, their team radio station, and they asked me, and I said, if they don't get 12, it's an epic fail in my mind.
Wait, how can you say that?
Epic fail, because the schedule's favorable. Rookie quarterbacks across the division, might be 6 games against rookie quarterbacks in your own division. If Will Levis took over the job with the Titans, you play the Panthers, rookie quarterback. You play Desmond Ridder, basically a rookie quarterback. Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr. You get Buffalo, you don't get them on the road. You get them in London. You get the Chiefs second week. It's going to be 120 here. The schedule is favorable. They should get to 12 wins. They should have the number 1 seed. Trevor Lawrence will be the MVP, and they still might not be the best team in the AFC.
And that's why he's the mayor of Jacksonville.
All right. Well, Your Worship, always good to see you. Pete Prisco, our senior NFL writer, alongside former general manager Rick Spielman. Rick also is podcasting now. Yes, we're expanding his horizons here. He is a part of the With the First Pick podcast alongside our draft expert Ryan Wilson. You can download and follow With the First Pick wherever you get your podcasts. You can also scan that QR code to listen now.